Um, so we are PocketWeaver. We are group 5. We're a language learning app that uses storytelling to facilitate learning in early education. We are a multidisciplinary team. Many of us come from multilingual families, and we are also parents to toddlers ourselves. Our problem space. So parents want to raise multilingual kids. About 11 million children under the age of 9 live in dual language households in the US, and online language learning is worth tens of billions globally. However, the tools are not always built for parents of young children. Although there are many apps to teach a new language, about 60% of parents in the US feel guilty about screen time. 2 in 3 want to reduce it. We conducted a small survey of parents of children under 5 in multilingual families. The top barrier to language exposure, we found was time. Parents are busy and they're tired, and also confident in the target language that they're wanting to teach. 70% of those that we surveyed wanted to tell stories to their child daily, and the rest wanted to tell stories multiple times a week. So there's a want for telling stories to their kids. However, most parents currently rely on non-digital resources to teach language to their kids, and the main concern they cited was screen time. So there's nothing right now that connects language learning, storytelling, and the parent-child bond. Enter PocketWeaver. PocketWeaver is parent-led. Our target users are parents with children ages 2 to 6 because that's when children really absorb languages. It is story-driven and low screen by design. It offers connection while building language skills. PocketWeaver is an AI-assisted storytelling app that puts the parent in the driver's seat. Parents tell the story. The app reduces cognitive load by providing vocabulary, storybook-like illustrations, question prompts, activity suggestions, and plot summary. Each story has about 3 new vocab words introduced with translations that are relevant to the story prompts. It is low screen, parent-facing by design, and the app supports the moment, not replaces it. From our research, we found that flashy animations and sound effects distract from language content. The AI storytelling apps that are out there often have weak narratives that entertain kids but have shallow retention. And screen time displaces the caregiver interaction, and that interaction is actually what drives language development. In user interviews that we did, parents expressed concern about coming up with stories on the spot and emphasized the importance of following their child's interests. Existing apps don't support either, but PocketWeaver does. So, why does this approach work? There's something called the affective filter. Children learn faster and have greater long-term language acquisition when they learn language in low-stress, emotionally connected environments. How do we create that connection? Through storytelling. So when a parent is telling a story, their voice literally syncs with the child's brain, called neural coupling, and this deepens comprehension and bonding. In addition to that, translingualism is another aspect of what we use. This is when you mix languages in a sentence. For example, where is the baño? We found this in a case study and learned that introducing 1 to 3 vocabulary words per story, nouns first with repetition, is the most effective approach for young learners with limited exposure to the language. So PocketWeaver is personalized. You choose your age, native language, the language you're learning, and the fluency level. You choose your setting and your character, or you can create your own. And then you can choose between AI-generated story plots or create your own. We really wanted to take off the cognitive load to give parents options to choose from, but also the creative freedom to create their own stories. The AI generates vocabulary words that can be customized and changed, and at the end of the story, it is reviewed. In the next slide, you'll see a demo of the app and a short prototype test.
Arcoíris.
You want to go to a magical school?
To be funny with the crew and
Fantastic. Okay. So we're gonna learn maestra, lápiz, and anillo. What is information? So that's a test we did with my daughter, and it was really cool to see at the end that she did absorb the vocabulary and learn new words. In our competitive analysis, the key gaps that we found, only a few of our competitors offer multilingual support. None are designed for parent-led storytelling, and the AI produces generic repetitive stories without strong prompting. So the gap is that no app combines parent-led storytelling, language learning in a low screen experience. Our pricing model is based on other parent apps. So we would have a free version and paid version. AI would be our biggest marginal cost, but we would minimize that by pre-generated content for the majority of the free tier. After about 3 years, a successful revenue target would be about 400K, making reasonable assumptions. Plans for the future, we'd love to do more user testing. We would like to improve the translation quality. Some languages have a harder time with translation. AI generation, element refinement, in-app save stories, so a library for the stories. Live AI prompting to help the parent with the storytelling. Items like printable storybooks and stuffed animals, and audio recording and transcription of the stories. Our brand values focus on emotional warmth and gentle focus that builds trust. And our group didn't just build a clickable prototype. We built a live reactive native app with production quality code running live. You can go play with it, explore, and see what stories you can tell.
Nice. I can start us. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about what are the advantages of this app over print books, given that you've cited that parents are concerned about screen time and quality of books, and I know a lot of AI generated stories are not as good quality as more, traditional stories written by professional authors. Um, and I'm also curious about the approach to just replacing certain vocabulary words because in my experience, vocabulary words are the thing that parents are the most capable of supporting for other languages in the home, as opposed to like rich narrative language in the whole story. So yeah, so it's two questions, I guess. That vocabulary question and the print book and why this is the best solution for those.
Yes. So to address the print books, so one, print books that are available can often also have weak narratives. So I live in South Korea, and the English books available, the English is not great always in the books that are written in this language, but also accessibility. So also living in South Korea, I bring back so many books in English just to teach my daughter English, and then people who are speaking languages that are not as popular within the US also have a hard time sourcing those books internationally. So that is a concern, is the sourcing of the materials, but also is what goes back to our core principle of connection. So storytelling really builds connection with your child. And when you look at long-term success in people, even children who are raised in the same homes, learning languages, it's two children can have very different levels of language acquisition later in life. One might be completely fluent, one might understand, but not really speak it. And that often goes back to the connection that they have with the language and the culture. So building that connection early on with your caregiver within the environment of the language learning can be really helpful for that long term. And then vocabulary, the reason we chose translingualism is because storytelling already takes quite a bit of cognitive load, and users testing people express concerns about being able to do both, and also not feeling confident in speaking the language. So it gives parents a little bit of confidence of being able to introduce the language. But we also have levels of fluency. So if the parent would like to add in more words, they absolutely can. The parents are in the driver's seat.